Hey, welcome back to 79 Custom Jigs. Fall is on us now. We did a lot of fishing during the summer when we could. It was so dead blame hot down here in Texas. We didn't do a whole lot of it unless it was early morning, late evening. But I wanted to try out some of my jigs that I had built to see how, how the fish really respond to them and stuff. We did a lot of metal detecting, not only on land, but we entered some tournaments and stuff, but we went underwater and did some metal detecting, enjoyed that. Just some prospecting, found some good gold here in Central Texas, believe that or not. But anyway, everything is good. Fall is on us. I've had this idea for this new jig in the back of my mind for about 2 or 3 months, and I think it's time to get started on it. I want to show you how I'm building this jig, and if you can see behind me, there's my prototypes right there. So I spent quite a few hours in the cave trying to perfect this jig to get the most sparkle out of it, to get the most action out of it, and something that would catch the most fish out of it. But before we go on, I got to show you what my daughter gave me for my birthday. And then also, I don't know if I can turn around on his chair or not. Hope you can see the back of it. Put a jig on the back. Bless her heart. Sweet girl. But anyway, I'm going to be giving you this video with 2 cameras. I'm going to have one set directly in front of the jig, and then also I'm going to strap one on my chest and give you 2 different versions of it, because this jig is really hard to tie. It takes a good bit of time compared to a lot of the other jigs that I tie, but I've tied those so many times now that I got pretty good at that. But anyway, if you find good content in this video, be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. Ring the bell and all that stuff. Y'all know what to do with that. But anyway, I'm gonna move the cameras around and let's get started. Okay, what I have in a jig is a 1/8 ounce pill head on a number 4 sickle hook. There's one of the eyes that I've already put on, and I'm going to put that other one on for you right now. So what I do is I get over here to my little eyeball collection, and I put one in my tweezers. These are 5mm right here. Holographic. Let me get the camera on. There we go. Little holographic eyes. So all you do is take your super glue, if I can get any out. There we go. About ready to open up a new bottle. And take and set your eye on there. Give it a little push. There you go. 5mm holographic eyes. So I'm going to get on with the tie, because this one takes kind of a little bit of time. So we're going to start with some Sally Hansen's fluorescent pink. And you guys probably can't see it, but I'm going to show you. I'm back up to the head. I've got this spool of thread right here in my hands, and when I do it, I grab it like this. That way I can keep pressure on the spool. If I want to, make it a little bit tighter, I can. If I need some more thread coming off, I can do that also. So there you go. So now we're going to take some of this yellow, lime green, whatever you want to call it. I call it lime green, I guess. Try to pull one out. Malibu. And then from the back of my head to the end of the shank is about, I don't know, roughly an inch or so. So I try to put my tail, roughly an inch behind it. So when I get up here, I do a little measuring. It's going to look about like that. I wet my fingers to kind of calm that Malibu down just a little bit. Get my fingers up here. Cut that off. Take me a couple of pretty good wraps. Pretty hard right there. And then what I do is I come back here, I push down around my hook shank. Try to get that Malibu as far around my hook shank as I can. Now I'm putting a lot of pressure on the thread, wrapping it pretty dang tight. You watch that head on that jig, it's moving pretty good. Then we're going to take this holographic Flashaboo right here. And I take about 4 or 5, kind of whatever I can put in my finger at the time. I cut these a little bit longer than normal. I don't know, what is that, about 4 inches worth, something like that. And I start about midways down, because what I want this to do, I want these to come past my past my Malibu. See, it's already coming past there a little bit. That's kind of what I want. And then I'm going to flip over to the other side, and we're going to do it again, because I like a lot of flash in these things. So then we're going to get 5, about 4 inches long. Cut it. Do the same thing. I'll wrap it. Now on this one, I kind of lay them down on each side of the hook. Now I'm really putting the pressure on the thread again. I want it good and tight. I'm going to take a little Sally Hansen's. Work that. As you can see right now, that jig all by itself got a lot of flash to it. But what we're going to do, pick this up at Hobby Lobby. This stuff has been working great. It lasts a long time. I need to fill this neck up with something to kind of put some volume to it. And so this is what I'm going to use right here. Like I say, this is at Hobby Lobby. This is holographic silver. There you go. $4.29. Can't beat it. Lasts a long time. And you just take a piece of it. When I do, this stuff, when it's wound, it kind of winds in circles, all of the fringe coming off of it. So when I like to start it, I like to start it with the fringe away from me, if I can. Got that laid down. Then I'm going to come back up to the head. Now, before I start wrapping this thing, watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right against the head, because I'm fixing to unwind it. So I'm going away from me when I wind this up, and I'm keeping it pretty taut and trying to keep it in there pretty tight where I really don't have any gaps. Sometimes you don't always get to. But anyway, if you take those wraps against your head, like I just did, it will keep your thread from unwinding and trying to come back and meet you while you're trying to wind this stuff up. So when I get it down, I just suck it back up. Take me through 4 wraps, do a crossover, 2, 3 wraps, I cross over, 2, 3 wraps, and then we're going to cut the excess off. This kind of puts a little bit of a sparkle, but it fills that neck up to where I have a little bit more volume in there. And so now we're going to take a little bit of this silver. I think they make shorter dubbing than this, and if they did, it would probably be great. You wouldn't have to do all this. And you just kind of pull it apart for a while, get the ends to kind of meet up like that. And then what I do is I take and I cut it in half, because that is way too long. I'm going to cut it in half. And then I have both of my cut ends here. Now I'm going to overlap, or I don't have the 2 cut ends on the same end. We got to get rid of the stragglers. And what I'm going to do, got that, is I'm going to cut it in half again. Cool. So now, what I'm going to do, this is always a little confusing at first, is I want to come down this jig about 1/4 of the way with the tail, but I'm going to do it on its side, okay? Not necessarily on its back, but right here on its side. I'm going to come back, wet that Malibu down just a little bit where it doesn't get crazy on me. maybe anywhere from a half. I'm going to run this thread down and catch it about halfway. Maybe about halfway down on the jig or on the Malibu. And I'm going to take a couple of pretty tight wraps right there. I'm going to spread it just a little bit. And then I'm going to come over. I'll take a couple more pretty tight wraps. Then we're going to go back to the other side. And we're going to take the other half that I cut. Lay it on its side. A couple of tight wraps. Spread it just a little bit. Lay it over. There we go, a couple of pretty tight wraps on that. And I'm gonna come right back up to the head. And that's kind of what she's looking like right there. Yellow, holographic green, silver dubbing, okay? Now we need to fill this area up right here, so we'll take some gold. Maybe just a little bit more than the silver while I was kind of pulling it out of there. And I'm going to do the same thing. Pull this apart. Kind of like that. Get rid of all the stragglers out here. That's about a halfway right there. Gosh, I have to sharpen my scissors. And then there's my cut end. Here's my other cut end. I'm going to overlap them where they're on different ends. Kind of get rid of all the stragglers. There we go. There's that half. There's that half. And I'm going to cut them. Now, instead of going on the sides like we did the silver, we're going to go on the back and on the front, or the front and the back, however you want to call it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lay this down about halfway back. Give it a couple of good twists. Spread it out. I'm going to wet my finger a little bit. Got to watch that barb on that hook. Lay that over. I'm going to flip it to this side. Then I'm going to take the other half. Lay it down. It's coming about, maybe halfway on the silver. And then a couple of pretty tight wraps. Give it a little pull with the finger. Pull it back. Pretty tight right here. Lining it up pretty tight. I'm going to put a little red neck on it, or pink neck, fluorescent neck, whatever you want to call it. Now, I'm going to take a little Sally Hansen's. And I'm going to put it right here on the thread. Because we're fixing to lock that thread down pretty tight. And take our finishing tool. For y'all that don't use finishing tools, it's pretty easy once you get to doing it. Drop it down, come around backside, and flip it into a figure 4. And I usually go 3 or 4 times, 5 times, kind of whatever I like. And then I take a little more Sally Hansen's. Put some more glue on there. Then you just want to cut off your excess. I'm going to take this out of the jig and I'm going to wet it down. Anyway, it's kind of what it looks like when it's dry. You kind of pull off all your loose ends. You got your gold, silver, fluorescent, in your fluorescent green. I'm just going to stick this over here and get it wet. Give me some pliers. Kind of pull all the loose stuff away. You may have to take your scissors, do a little bit of trimming. This is what I call the fluorescent minnow. I'm telling you what, you put this out in the sunlight and it will shine like nobody's business. So what you've got is your 1/8 head with the eyeballs on it. It's not painted. And then you got your red looking neck. That pink actually turned to red. And then you got your silver side with the neons. And then you roll it over this way. And you've got your gold on top. And then you roll it over. You still got your silver again. Gold on the other side. And there's all your neons right in there. And if you look back in his tail, I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not, but that tail just glitters. Awesome, awesome jig right here. I'm going to dip it back in the water one more time. However you want to make that tail work. And there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like I say, it was kind of a long one. This jig takes a little bit of time to build right here, but man, it is well worth it. You'll love fishing with this. Got a little bit of weight to it. You can drop it right over a brush pile or a pile of rocks on your crappies. You know, you can fish it like a swim bait. You can bump it off bottom, just kind of whatever turns you on at the time. You can also make this in 1/16 ounce if you want to, if you want a little bit smaller bait. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell, ring the button. Y'all know what to do. Thanks for joining me. Be sure and look for some giveaways a little bit later on this year. And y'all have a great day.